making his triumphant return.
I don't know about triumphant.
You don't feel triumphant, Gary?
I'm not feeling all
because I heard
triumphant.
horns when you walked into the studio.
Yeah, the horns were, but that was something different. That was the band out front.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, I don't hear well, but the Honorable Gary S. Hopper is
Matt,
here.
I love you.
Oh,
nice shoulder pads. I like that.
You like that? Yeah. Trying to look like a football player.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
Hey, we got Ross Terrio. Remember how we got him elected school board?
Yes, we did.
By not being on the show.
Single-handedly elected you.
Right?
Whatever
we did
works.
it by not having him on the show or having him on the show. What does it matter?
Doesn't matter. It's about results. It's
about
not
results.
how you attain the
Sign
results.
up in June, so I can't be on the show after June. Sorry.
Are you going to sign up for state rep again?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, you just go and sign up?
Wait. What do you mean? Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, actually, you should do that.
I can just go and sign up. I don't have to run for election or anything.
No, you should run for election.
You should.
I'm unelectable.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. Where do you live?
What would I run as? I'm an independent. Independents don't get elected.
Run as a Democrat.
There's Matt Connarton.
With Concord,
What
right?
is your
I'm in Concord, yeah.
You're in Concord. Run as a Democrat.
You'd be better than most of the people up there.
Really?
Be 99% better than 99%.
Really?
I'm including myself in that
Wow.
99.
You'd be part of the 1%.
Yes.
Oh. Well, then, hey, now that would be nice.
Speaking of the 1%, I don't know how. It's very frequent. When I go up in the as a legislator, you get in the parking
Very
garage.
frequent? Sounds like a
whatever
Vlada commercial.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, there's a parking garage on Store Street for the legislators that aren't well connected. And as you come up to the first level, I usually park right there because it's easy to back up because there's nothing to back you, and you can. Okay, so I usually park right there, and some person often takes my space is in a Prius.
You know it's a liberal Democrat.
Of course. But anyway, the funny thing isn't that it's a Prius, because those are funny in and of themselves. But, my mind, I'm still sick, so my mind isn't working that good, and it never worked that great to begin with. But I remember I was at a meeting, and most people say if they're missing some sort of briefcase or something like that, they go, I left my briefcase in my car. That's what most people would say.
Right.
I was at this meeting, there's this liberal lady, she goes, I left my briefcase in my Prius.
What's the plural of Prius? Is it Prii?
Priuses.
Prii sounds good, though. Like,
Prii,
why not go
Both
Latin with it?
octopi.
But anyway, so this...
Oh, wait.
Wait. Well,
Speaking about Priuses, let me
wait.
interrupt you because I love to interrupt you. We had you remember about 2 years ago.
Good a reason as any.
We were building
can't remember 30 seconds ago.
We were building a new liquor store, state of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And it was energy efficient. And part of I remember this got a lot of people upset. As part of the energy efficiency certificate, they had to have special parking
electric
spaces
meters for Priuses.
for fuel efficient hybrid vehicles right at the front. So they took precedence over like handicap people.
Really?
So if you drive like a Prius
Yes,
a hybrid vehicle, you got to park right up at front in the state liquor store. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, because a lot of people who are diehard liberals need to get drunk quicker.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this Prius that was at that's
parked behind you illegally.
often taking my assigned parking space.
Oh, you have a sign?
Not really. I just say that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's taking the space that I prefer in this Prius, right? It has this sticker on, this bumper sticker that says, "I'm the 1%," or "I'm the 99%." And I'm thinking, okay, you've got this individual who makes enough money that they can buy a vehicle that is 2 or 3 times the value of most people's cars, and yet they're the 99 oppressed sect of society. It was just like,
because they spent all the money on the car. Now they're broke.
They're broke. Okay, yeah. I got to get a picture of it though. It's wicked funny.
Huh.
So anyway, I wanted to say thank you to, who did I have? I had Kurt Wepler.
Yeah,
was on last week from New Hampshire Right to Life, and I had Dave Fine was on at least 2 or 3 times.
I think 3 times total.
3 times for me. Dave is, you know how like a long time ago when, I guess recently racism is a big deal again, but a long time ago racism was actually a legitimate problem. And white folk like myself used to always justify that they're not racist by saying, well, I have this one black friend.
Right.
Well, Dave Fine is my liberal friend, so I can prove that I'm open-minded and stuff like that.
You've got Matt.
No, he's not. No, Dave's like wicked liberal.
Well, you know what's funny is
He actually works on the Obama campaign.
well, it's rare that I'm not the most liberal guy in the room on this show, but when Dave was here, I was the for once I was
Moderate,
not
yeah.
the most liberal
No,
guy. Yeah.
I know.
I have a guy that I work with, coworker, nice guy, but he's again liberal progressive, and he goes, "I'm a moderate. You're not a moderate." I said, "'Cause I really believe I'm a moderate."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, I'm a moderate." So, well,
So
I
you
said,
have a fight over who's more moderate?
yeah. So
That's sort of strange.
Well,
thing.
a disagreement. But here's the
Yes.
funny thing. I said, well, so he's probably 15, 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, well, who did you vote for in the 70s? He goes, well, I wanted to vote for Eugene McCarthy, but I knew he wasn't going to win, so I voted for George McGovern. And I said, come on, that Eugene McCarthy is way out there in left field. There's no way, that's you're just delusional. You're old enough to know who Eugene McCarthy is, right?
Barely.
Okay.
Really not.
Okay, forget it then.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for that little.
McGovern was pretty liberal too, though. But that was in the 70s. What about now? Like, how does he vote now?
Barry and other people assorted.
Manilow?
Barry Obama.
Oh,
Oh, you call him Barry?
That was his nickname in high school.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
right.
Barry O.
What are we talking about?
Random stuff.
Oh, random stuff. Anyway, so who else did I have? I was trying to thank all the people that were standing in for me because I went through. I've been going through radiation treatments to get rid of pre-skin cancer stuff I got all over my neck
Well, let me ask you, if it's skin cancer, why can't they just cut it out?
because it's all over the neck. To cut it out, they'd have to like lob off the neck from the below the chin.
Okay.
And
I
then-
can live with that.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you
I
probably.
think you'd look funny.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
yeah.
he wouldn't look that different than he does now.
But the ties would be an issue,
Yeah, he wouldn't.
right?
It wouldn't be a necktie.
Then
It'd just
it
be like
would
a
be
tie.
a tie,
Yeah.
and then the collars on. You'd have to cut off the collars of my shirt and stuff like that.
But it looks like it hurts, though, right?
It's painful, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as bad as having you on the show, but it's close.
Well, let's in the spirit
wait,
in the
so
spirit of
no.
disclosure. So I got a desperate phone call from Gary a few hours ago. And we know with his poor eyesight, he probably dialed my number wrong anyway. It was
Right,
Gary
right.
So he was desperate. He didn't have a guest just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And so just to be transparent here, the
Yes.
only reason why I came on this show is he promised me that my dinner tab would be picked up at Margarita's on your expense account. So
On
let's
my
just get
expense
that
account.
straight.
Yeah, your
well, on the show's expense account.
Oh, right. The
We
show's
have a
expense
show's
account.
account?
Oh, wow.
Do we?
Pretty fancy. Pretty
I didn't
fancy
know we had a
schmancy.
show's expensive
It's so
account.
fancy we didn't even know. They didn't
I
even
know.
tell us.
So that's the only reason why I'm here. Let's get this over with.
Okay, let's try to muddle through this. So anyway, I just wanted to thank all the
Oh.
people. Wait.
Wait.
What?
Okay, go ahead. I think I have a deep suspicion, and Matt, tell me if this is true.
Okay.
That while Gary was gone, the ratings skyrocketed.
Well, I haven't seen any hard numbers, but the early demographic research would seem to indicate as such, yes.
Okay.
Huh? That's weird.
I'm sorry, Gary. Go ahead. You were
No,
saying.
that's all right. Fine. So anyway, Dave Fine, Kurt. Who else did John Heichel show up with Gus? Did Gus do a show?
John came on my no, I'm sorry, John. No, you're right. No, John did come on this show. I think Gus was with him.
Yeah, because I've had a lot of people fill in for me because I just couldn't. I mean, although my neck looks pretty bad now, you should
Yeah.
have seen it a few weeks ago. It was.
You wanna show the
freaking horrible.
camera how bad
no,
it is?
not really.
Probably lose what viewers.
No,
you have.
I was telling. Did I say it on this show that my neck is so bad that as I walked here, the panhandlers were offering me money.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that
that is
bad,
pretty
But you can make some extra money that way.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I can be walking the streets tomorrow.
That's just
Double your
capitalism.
income.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been going to Elliott Regional Cancer Center to have my neck fried, and they're really nice people.
Good.
Really,
What are you
Dr. Zing. How do you spell it? Singh Zing.
Singh.
Singh.
He's from India. I bet he's Singh is a common Indian name for people who are Sikhs. Are called Singh.
Well, I
typically.
wasn't really.
Does he have a turban?
No.
Oh, okay, a lot of Sikhs is part of their religion wear a turban and the long beards. They're not Muslims. It's a different religion.
Yeah,
but,
no.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear no beards or nothing.
It's kind of like Murphy for Irish people, but it's a very common Sikh name.
What are you saying stuff about the Irish now?
Well, just like Murphy.
I was at a political thing last night in Deering in the Kentucky Valley Republican Committee.
Yeah.
And Karen Testerman was there.
Yep.
And
Governor,
Marilinda
right.
Garcia was there.
Sweetheart, nice girl.
And
Gary Lambert?
no, Gary Lambert did not show up.
Surprised he didn't, because he's usually him and Marilinda are mirror images.
No, but they were just talking. I think Karen's great.
You know, I've seen her, but I've seen pictures of her, but I've never heard her talk.
She's been on the show. You must have seen it.
Is she? What's? Where is she? Is she running? Is she in? Is she?
Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
still running for Senate.
For governor.
No, U.S. Senate.
All right. So there's.
Brown, Rubens,
Yeah, Karen, Bob
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the questions I had for you.
Okay.
At your church, is the egg hunt Saturday and what time?
It's Saturday.
What time?
My wife was here.
Huh?
It's
Wait,
in the
this is
morning.
your church.
My son told me about this today too. He's like, egg hunts on Saturday, and I was like, oh.
Well, now tell people where the church is so they can go for the egg hunt late.
It's called the South Main. Well, it used to be called the South Main Street Church. It's right beside. What's the Catholic church right beside of it? Saint
something. No, it's always Saint.
It's-
I mean,
it's-
that's like
it-
easy. The Catholic Church. Let me guess. It'd be Saint something.
it's not St. Patrick's. They changed the name to Faithbridge Church, but it used to be called South Main Street Church.
Right.
It's right across from Blake's.
Right. Right
And
near
it's-
Blake's and right near the TD Bank.
Yep. And then there's the Catholic Church right beside of it.
So you don't know what
Yeah.
time. Can you text her and get a message by the end of the show?
Yeah, something like that.
Go ahead.
I'm only here for the dinner.
What if it rains? Is there a rain date?
My son did not tell me that.
Like a post, like they just make it a post Easter egg hunt or something. Boy, egg hunt. That's
mean-
something you got to be careful how you say that on the air, huh? That combination of syllables.
There shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a rain date anyway. I mean, was the original Easter postponed by a rain date? No. So what?
Wow. Gosh, my brain's not working at all. Okay,
Say
so
that again.
anyway, if you
So how did you know about that? How did you know about the egg hunt?
because my wife asked me to ask you what time
Oh.
the egg hunt was.
It's in the morning, I think.
Oh, you know what's weird that happened to me?
What?
Not that there's not enough weird things that happen to me.
I was gonna say it must be hard to choose.
Yeah, it is. So I'm standing in the back of my daughter's apartment. She lives over near.
Oh, you talking? Is this the movie thing? Oh. You got to talk about the movie thing too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so anyway, I was standing in the back of my daughter's apartment, and
Well, where does she live? What town?
over near Kelly Street, Manchester.
Okay.
And there's an alley that goes in back of the house. There's alleys all over the place over there.
Alley's all over Manchester.
Yeah. And I'm trying to take my grandson Scotty to Captain America, which I highly recommend. It was really, really good movie.
Winter
Good
Soldier.
message. Good movie. My Scotty's 8 years old, so I went there to look for him, and I'm standing. And this is the interesting part. I'm standing in the alley, or I'm in her driveway. I'm not sure which, because it's a huge difference. Legally, there's a massive difference between the two. I didn't know that at the time. So I'm looking up and down the alley like this, looking for Scotty. I can hear him, but I can't see him. Don't say anything. Okay, so a couple of young guys, probably in their early 20s, a couple of girls, two little kids walk by. Baby carrots, the whole 9 yards. Some of you that's dangerous. And so they walk by, and I'm just looking up and down the alley. The guy gets it in his head that either I don't know if he thought I was looking at his children or his girlfriend, whatever. He thought I was some sort of creeper. And he's probably 20 yards away, turns around, starts screaming at me, and then walks at me very quickly, almost like at a brisk pace, really, really, really angry and swearing and calling me names and stuff like that.
What did he call you? I mean, without the obscenities.
Bad words.
Like what?
Huh?
What words? What were the bad words without using any obscenities?
Or were they
How
all
can-
obscenities?
They were pretty much all obscenities.
Really?
So anyway, so he's screaming at me because I'm looking at his girlfriend or whatever. I didn't, my first, what I wanted to say was, well, she's not really that good looking.
She wasn't that attractive.
No. But I didn't say that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I didn't want to escalate. Because that's the thing I think people should know is in a situation like that, obviously the guy's not playing with a full deck. Obviously, he's either on drugs or something like that, and he's looking for a fight.
Well, he's angry and looking for.
Well, he's angry and looking for an excuse to get rid of all that anger on somebody who just happens to be out in the driveway.
No, was he a big guy or?
No, he wasn't that much. He wasn't that big. He was probably as tall as me, maybe a little taller, not really, but thinner and a lot younger and probably a lot faster.
But
And
you could
probably
probably
can see what
take
he's
him, though.
doing, huh?
You could probably take him, huh?
I don't know. But anyway, so he's really angry, and the odd thing is he's screaming at me and stuff like that. And I where I grew up, the really biggest danger you had was dogs. Okay, when you were on driving down the street when you're 10 years old or 8 years old, the biggest thing you had to fear were dogs attacking you because there's no leash laws and stuff.
On your bike and
Your bike, yeah. I got bitten at least once on my bicycle.
Yeah.
And what I learned from that was the one thing you don't want to do is get afraid, because once the dog smells fear,
Yep.
it'll attack.
Yep.
It's almost an instinctive reaction. And I think people who are that mentally unstable are pretty damn close to dogs.
That's a good insight. I think you're
Kind of
right.
like Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Remember the Disney movie Old Yeller?
It's too long ago. I don't remember.
Come on, you're older than me.
I remember Old Yeller. I don't remember the story. I just
Okay.
remember
Very
like,
sad.
yeah, he died.
Oh,
or
so
something.
even Matt's much younger than you, and he knows the story.
I am. I am
Wait,
much, much, much younger,
Can
and
we?
I know the
Can,
story.
I want to
yes.
interrupt you for 1 second. If this guy's watching us, can we have him call in and give his
Explain.
side of the story?
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
good. Yeah, like
if
an
you
equal
want-
time kind of thing.
Do you know
yeah,
what his
yeah.
name was? Did he say
No,
what
I
his
got no
name?
idea. He didn't give me his identity. I should have asked. You got an identification so I can know who to tell the police you
Usually
are.
before I scream at strangers, I'm usually like,
Hi,
"Hi,
I'm
my
Matt."
name's Matt," and then I just unload.
I do the same thing, but I do it different. I just go up. Hey, my name's Matt Connarton, and then I go at him.
This explains a lot. This
Yes,
revelation. Okay,
yeah.
I've had some trouble
It's
lately.
helpful. It's a good way to do it.
Oh, by all means, continue to do that.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
I'll send you my
I'm
legal
there,
bills.
I'm there for you.
Yes,
But
thank
go
you.
on
Yes.
with your pointless story.
So the funny thing is this kid, he's like I say, early 20s, really, really angry, looking for some reason to fight. So
Yeah.
the first thing I did was calm myself down internally and externally, because your first reaction is to
Kind
get
of like Zen Buddhism.
no, I wouldn't go that far. I just get rid of the anger and the fear and the stuff like that and let it go.
So you're like the Dalai Lama of where?
Yeah, yeah. I go to the deli and have lamb.
Dalai Lama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I love delis. So I'm sitting there, and this guy's screaming at me. I got my hand is in my pocket because I've always got my pistol with me. So I was so
Let me ask you, what
my
pistol
hand
was it? Revolver, automatic, what caliber?
380 Ruger. Light enough so I carry it all the time. So my hand's on my pistol because I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't
Yeah.
know where he's coming from or what he's going to pull. The interesting thing is, and one reason I'm going to have Bob Clegg on next week. I'm going to ask him about it. But the interesting thing is, if I'm on the street, if I'm in the alley and he attacks me, I have to have reasonable belief that my life is in danger to use deadly force as a response.
Okay.
Okay, in my health, I think that he started tooling on me. I think
Well, yeah.
it's pretty close.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's still debatable. You know what I mean? Because it's going to go to court, and there's going to be his mother crying in the audience and saying that, Representative Hopper a long time ago said he hated white people, and that's why he shot my son. He's a racist. He hates white people.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I know. People don't. But so now they do, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, so it'd go to court, and then you'd have these people crying about how wonderful a little kid he was, and they'll have baby pictures, and so in court, the Monday morning quarterback, and you'd have a tough sell to use deadly force, even if he's punching you.
I don't know. I thought because New Hampshire has our stand your ground law,
I
so
thought
as long
so,
as if you're legally,
Yeah.
how does it go? If you're legally
Have a right to be there.
right to be there, and you're not breaking into a house, you're not committing a crime, you're not trespassing, that you can use deadly force if you
To defend your life.
Yeah. Well, getting punched in the head, you could die.
Oh yeah.
Theoretically, but that's not necessarily. In other words, it becomes fuzzy. Okay, you get the fuzzy math going on.
Yeah.
But now, if I step 2 steps backwards into a driveway, now I'm
Not your driveway, though.
It was hers, my daughter's.
Okay.
But it was a driveway or an alley?
No, it was the driveways next to the alley. So
Oh, I got. Oh, and that's what you meant about there being a difference legally.
yeah. So
Gotcha,
now I'm
okay.
on her property theoretically because she's renting, but I still think it's her property legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he is in the commission of a felony, which beating the crap out of me would be a felony, then it is legal to use deadly force.
Oh, okay.
But no matter where you are, if he attacked you unprovoked, you were just standing there, you didn't say anything, I think it would be a felony even if you were in the street.
It might be, but that doesn't. That's the law is different.
Once you pull that trigger, everything gets a little murky.
Yeah,
in
it gets
other words.
really
Yeah.
murky. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like I asked the Ware police about it because I was curious because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And as much as I joke around about it, because I joke around about everything.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, if that transpired, there would be always that question in my head: should I or shouldn't I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's ever killed anybody that's actually level-headed about it. If you take a look at a lot of the vets that come back from the war and stuff like that, they're freaking screws with their mind.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not good. It's not a good thing to do. It's not as much as a lot of young people have a lot of bravado and say, "Oh, I'd kill somebody if they did something." It's a lot of bull.
Right.
People don't really enjoy killing other people.
Speaking about shooting, so Matt, up until recently, you had never shot a gun until we took you over to Gary's apple orchard.
That is correct.
And so what'd you think?
That's my compound.
The compound, yes, the Hopper compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So would you do it again? Would you get a pistol or?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. So it didn't. I mean, it
See, that's where he's moderate. Once he gets the gun, boom.
right. Yeah, I haven't considered it, to be honest with you.
Speaking of that, let me ask you this: have they sold your mother's house yet?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. So has people moved in, or
No, they still got a lot of work to do to get it out.
So, as you know, you misled me last time. We went hunting over on your property. There were no deer whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought I had them chained up so that you could even you could get a shot at one, but I guess they gnawed through the.
I see, said the blind man. But turkey season's coming up soon. I want to go out and get a turkey with my son. So you guys got any turkeys over there?
Yes.
Can you just get one at the store? Isn't that easier?
Yeah. But this is free.
Oh, gotcha.
Not the way.
Except for the permit, the tag, $16.
Yeah, I don't care.
You get a lot of turkey in the yard?
I haven't. I got actually a picture of them earlier. I think it was probably in January in the tree roosting. Not roosting in the apple trees, eating the apples.
Yeah, they love apples.
Huh.
So it's actually pretty cool.
But have you seen them lately?
Not lately. If you want to go out and look around, I'm sure there is evidence of them, but I haven't looked.
The thing with turkey hunting is you never want to stalk a turkey. I was taught. You always want to, set up decoys, wait, call
them.
If you can call them, but you never want to stalk a turkey.
The vision is much better than yours.
Or at least they're hearing. So you got two problems. One, they'll run away.
Yeah.
Two, if you are out in the woods during turkey season, if you're calling or whatever you're doing, you got a good chance of being shot by another hunter. Because a lot of people don't wear hunter orange when they're turkey hunting.
Yeah, because the turkey are supposedly really, really good eyesight.
Oh.
Hey, so anyway, you're on the school board.
Yes, sir.
My grandson came home with a.
Oh, he's on the west side, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what school he goes to, or?
I could if I knew.
The West Side grade school, I assume.
The one that's over on the west side
Probably
that is for
northwest.
little kids.
Yeah. Okay.
They had
go ahead.
small. They had the shorter children. Yeah. Anyway, I thought Manchester had voted out Common Core.
They did.
Okay.
But, okay.
Now this is the homework assignment that little bugger came home with, that is right out of the Common Core handbook, which was to basically they wanted the child to come up with a rule that mom and dad have in their home, and then make an argument why that rule shouldn't be a rule. So they're basically telling the child to figure out what mom and dad are doing, and now we want you to articulate why mom and dad's rules shouldn't apply to them or stuff like that, which is
Kind of strange.
it's very strange.
Yeah.
Kind of,
So I told Scotty what he should do is say mom and dad have a rule against shooting the pedophiles in the house. Mom and dad make us take them outside so it doesn't get the carpet messy.
yeah.
But
But then what would be his argument against that? He's too strong. He's not strong enough to drag them outside.
his argument against it would be, make hay while the sun's out.
Okay.
Shoot him while you can.
Yeah. So, as far as the Common Core,
But he didn't use that. That was a good idea.
I thought very good idea. Yeah, very good idea.
What?
oh, is that a rhetorical question?
You wish. You wish. Anyway, what do you think about that kind of crap?
So, the prior board, because I was elected in November, the prior board voted to not adopt Common Core.
Correct.
So what they were going to do was look at Common Core, use it as their floor, and they were going to adopt the Manchester standards. And
How's that going?
I haven't seen hide nor hair of them yet, but so that was the plan, is that they're working on. Actually, no, from time to time they'll give us an update and say, oh, they're coming along nicely, but that they're coming up with their own set of standards, and called the Manchester standards. And what they're looking at is a lot of the people who are opposed to Common Core said, for instance, the Massachusetts standards, the prior Massachusetts were excellent. Did a good job of educating people, and we should adopt those in some form.
Right.
So
what the heck are you doing? Are they still using the Common Core handbooks and everything else?
I do not know. I was told the administration was not going to adopt them, and that they were coming up with the new standards as we speak.
Hey, do you ever find out how many? This is probably more rhetorical than anything else, but
You know what rhetorical means?
no, no clue. But it's a good word.
It is.
It's a big word.
It's a big word.
Four syllables.
One of my favorite words is obtuse. I bet Matt knows what that is.
I do. Yeah.
Do you know what obtuse means, Gary?
I think I did.
What?
I think I did.
Does it mean somebody who's overweight, maybe?
No. No. Obtuse is. I thought it meant something that's not quite. You can't quite figure it out. A little bit vague.
That your thought of what it means is kind of a textbook definition of what it is.
What? Say it again.
I don't even think I could repeat that.
Anyway, if you take theoretically one of the big problems in the school system that you're the cause of.
We got you elected for this. Oh,
No, right?
what a jip.
What a ripoff.
Yeah, I've got 99 problems, but how you feel is not one of them.
Well played, sir.
Over the past 30 or 40 years, theoretically, the standards have gone down and down and down. How large has the administration of the school system in Manchester increased over that same time period? Like, in other words, whatever department, let's say special ed, because my wife works in special ed. You've got X number of administrators of special ed in the city of Manchester, whereas they probably had like one administrator of special ed in the 70s. Now they got 75. I don't know what the actual number is, or the math department, or whatever department that is. Has anybody ever looked back and said, we only needed one administrator for this department in 1970, and our grades were this. But now we got, because it seems like they hired new administrators for all kinds of things all the time, and then cut teacher salaries, or try to.
So special ed's actually a good example because a lot of that's federally mandated. So one of the things we have is pre-K.
That's before K.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So children who are not disabled, so the federal government has certain criteria, but one of them is, to loosely explain it, is that disabled kids need to be in pre-K. It's a federally mandated program. Other parents can ask to have their kids in there, but they may or may not meet the criteria. Might not get in, whereas certain kids will be in there. So that you have to have certain staffing requirements and certain staff in place. So some of those things.
Staff, I understand. Like, in other words,
administrators have to be in place. So that some of that is covered by state and federal law.
Yeah, but a lot of that federal law, I believe, is just staff. In other words, if you have certain people with this kind of disability, their plan would say that they need somebody that's
Speech therapy, occupational therapy, teachers,
that I get.
and teacher-student ratios, and you might have to have a certain person to oversee the program.
Right. I don't know about the oversee the program, but I just wonder about how large. I know that you know Rick Waters.
I do. I remember his state rep up in.
Yeah, he's on Judiciary with me. Really nice guy. Again, he's a liberal commie.
But
I
is he
really,
from Concord?
Yeah.
Is he the guy that lost his arm?
No.
Who's the guy that lost his arm?
I don't know, but I haven't seen his arm anywhere. I didn't take it. I don't know why you assume that I did.
He should check a lost and found, like at the mall or something. He might find it.
Yeah.
Oh my God! This was a mistake coming on here.
And yet you keep coming back for us.
I know.
Not after.
You're like a moth to a flame.
Yeah. Not after the sign-up period, though.
Right. Understood.
Yeah, I get it.
No, but wait. Let me
ask you this.
Okay.
This is rhetorical.
Yes.
No, this is obtuse.
So Rick Watrous was talking about that discrepancy.
What does this have to do with my dinner at Margarita's?
Nothing. So Rick Watrous was talking about the discrepancy between when he first became what do you call a teacher that's they just hire him like to teach a course, not a full time
contract or
per diem, whatever.
Part time. Oh, substitute or
something. Anyway, so he had been doing that since the 70s, and then they only had like a 2 or 3 in the administration altogether to do this whole school. And they had X number of full-time teachers and so many of the like him that are just part-time. And in that time, the number of people at the top of that in the administration is just like quadrupled. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. The tuitions keep going up and up and up.
What are you talking about? College?
College. This is at NHTI.
Okay.
And it's insane. Because it's the and I've seen this in corporate world too, where you'll have a company that's doing pretty well, okay, and then they'll have a secretary and a lady doing this and somebody ordering this and an office, a normal office that you need to run a company, but eventually the people in the office are the only ones who are actually talking to the owners and the people at the top of the food chain. And that office gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And pretty soon you got, you need twice as many people on the floor to support this bureaucracy. And I think is that going on in Manchester also, is my question.
I've only been in office since November. Well, technically since January. But
yeah,
looking
that's a lot of months.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of them.
It's old.
I think if we look back, and I don't have I'm just guessing.
You're guessing.
I'm going to guess, but I'm going to say if we look back.
If I wanted somebody to guess, I could have got anybody to sit there.
True. But again, they probably wouldn't have showed up.
No, they wouldn't have.
If you look back over the 20 years, I'm probably going to say you're right that the administration has grown. Now, I wanted to speak. John's the guy in the control room, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we get him? Can we ask him a question? In that, I feel bad because I think he might be losing his job here because it looked like he was training his replacement. What's going on with John?
Oh, I think she's just helping out.
Yeah, I think she might be the replacement. Okay.
Why did you say that?
Because I saw her working here when I came in.
Oh.
Yeah, but why would you assume that?
Yeah. Why would you?
Are you trying to divert away from this administrative
no
question about the
deflection?
It is deflection.
Yeah, that's not what we got
we
elected
don't
to do.
Yeah, we don't
deflecting.
Yeah, we didn't get you elected to come deflect questions.
But I can tell you this: in the few months that I have been on the job,
what?
You sure?
Yeah. What?
In the few months that I have been on the job, we have hired a few more administrators.
Now it's starting to make sense.
So I'm part of the problem.
Yes, apparently. So how many more administrators do you think? I mean, is there like a quantity of administrators you could hire to make things work better? In other words, say if you have like one administrator per pupil at $100 and something thousand a year, would that child be more educated?
Is that a rhetorical question?
It's obtuse.
You're learning. No, is there a point where kids are going to learn better at a certain student staffing ratio? I believe so. 1-to-1 is, crazy. But personally, what I've seen and what I believe is when I was in college, we had classes with like 300 kids in them. One professor, 300 kids. But we were adults. We were motivated.
Right.
We wanted to be there.
Really, you?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Seriously.
What school was that?
At Mass College of Pharmacy. But
So this is
the
before
younger.
this
So
is
I
before
think,
you could legally sell drugs.
and I also now, yeah, I volunteered in my son's grade school class, and so some of this is from personal experience.
Yeah.
But I think the younger you are, so the younger the child, like at pre-K or kindergarten, you have to have a very low student to staff ratio. I think the guidelines, like 22 students or a maximum, is the recommendation. And from what I've seen, think about it with your own, kids or grandkids. You don't want to, a whole bunch of them get together. They're wild. But when I volunteered, when I first got involved in the school system, I went to a parent-teacher meeting in the beginning of the year, and I asked the teacher, I said, how many kids are in second grade? My son was in second grade. I said, how many kids are in the class? It was like 29. I was like, that's way too many kids, I thought. And so I said to the teacher, would you like some help? I can volunteer, mornings. She said, I'd love to.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So a few mornings a week, usually 2 or 3 mornings a week, I'd go in and volunteer, help kids with reading or their math.
Well, that's
whatever
very
like that.
cool. Good for
but
you.
the thing is,
How do you help kids with math?
if they don't understand a thing,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You can do it in numbers, like 5 plus 5, have them count it out, or if you're doing division or whatever.
Right.
So you can
Go
take, 6 groups of 3 or 18, you know what I mean? You can have them count it out and kind of understand. yeah. So, but anyways, so we had kids in my son's class that, some of the kids,
Yes.
Yeah.
some of the kids were, advanced. Other kids, you had kids with dyslexia. You had kids with emotional problems. You had kids that just struggling and need a little bit extra help. But 28, 29 kids in a second grade class with one teacher is just too many kids.
Yeah. See, I think when I was a kid, I think that's about it. It was usually just a little bit under 30, like first and second grade. But I also remember there was always like a teacher's assistant there. At least when I got older, there wasn't. But
Yeah, I think a lot of to be honest with you, I think the real problem isn't the lack of administrators. I don't think. To be honest with you, I think the problem is the lack of family. I mean, if you look at a little boy or a little girl who's in a dysfunctional situation and they go to school, well, guess what? I think when we went to school, when I went to school, most of the kids had a father in the home.
Yep.
The vast majority of those children had a mother and father, and dad was typically the disciplinarian. And if you stepped out of line at school, if you did something, you got in trouble with dad later on. Okay? Now you've got kids that have issues before they even get to school, and I've talked to a few teachers, and they can almost tell you which children in their classrooms are going through divorce or of a single parent home just by their behavior.
Although it's not definitive, because there are kids who struggle, who come from horrible situations and then go on to thrive,
of
flourish,
course there
in
is.
higher education are extreme. But as a rule of thumb, typically the kids who are going to do well and go on to college come from 2-parent families, middle income or higher. One or both parents have higher education, college or master's degree, and the kids who struggle typically and who are more at risk are going to be single-parent families, lower income, and the in many cases the single parent, it's usually a mother, is going to either not have a high school diploma, possibly a high school diploma or less, and although that doesn't dictate what happens, it's very indicative of. There's a strong correlation between your beginnings in life and how you do in school.
sure.
Well, and I know that the thing is like you say, poverty has a role in it. I actually disagree with that portion of that argument, because if you look at the families, if you have a young mother who's a single mother, if she was actually married, she wouldn't be living in poverty anyway.
But that's
Or-
still
or
a correlation
much-
between the two things.
There is, but it's because
The time.
I think it's a chicken or the egg thing. But speaking of the egg hunt, did she ever email you back and tell us what time the egg hunt was?
No. That was
You
obtuse.
don't have one of those things that people have?
I don't. It's strange. On paper, I own 4 cell phones. In reality, My wife and my 3 kids have them all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't, so if I need one, I just borrow theirs.
Well, why didn't you borrow one of theirs while we're talking?
Next question.
But if the, in other words, the breakdown of the family has led to a lot of the poverty and a lot of the things.
I agree.
And that's why we have as much problem controlling children, because little boys, in particular, in second grade, first grade through fourth grade or whatever, are difficult to control. They're bundles of energy, and you're trying to focus that to learn something on paper, whereas they really want to go outside and play baseball or something. They want to do something physical. So that's a difficult thing to do. But if you have that same little boy who is living in a very difficult home, I can't imagine a teacher can. I mean, a teacher can do their best to help. That's why a lot of times, as Republicans, we hear how bad the teachers are, and I've never bought into that, because I think the teachers are got their back against the wall and having a tough time as it is dealing with all the social.
Now, do
upheaval.
you have to say that because you're married to a teacher? You're afraid of
Yes.
hot lip and cold shoulder?
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah. She's scary.
Is she? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Ross knows.
You know, your wife seems nice to me, but does she wear the pants in the family?
No, I wear the pants in the family. She just tells me which ones.
Oh, okay.
Right? You know what I mean?
Just out of curiosity, we haven't had any calls.
You've been awful
is
curious.
This no longer a call-in show?
It's been quiet. I didn't have any calls on Unleashed earlier, and on Norman Friends we had very few calls too. It's been a quiet day for some reason. I don't know why.
It's just probably because Ross is on.
You think so?
I wasn't on Norman Friends, though.
No.
What?
I wasn't on Norman Friends.
I was on Norman Friends and people called.
I watched the show. I don't remember seeing you there.
I was on there and
Where,
people
what,
called.
in the background or something?
No, so there's definitely correlation here.
Okay.
It's like the administrative thing. It's a correlation between too much administration and not enough teachers, and you being on the show and no people calling.
Okay.
Nothing personal, obviously. I don't mean that to be a slight or any. So we don't know what time this egg hunt is.
No, we know it's Saturday morning.
And what do you think about the Common Core? Well, you didn't have a really good response to that. Why are they why are the teachers in New Hampshire, in Manchester, trying to subvert the authority of the parents in the home?
They're not trying to subvert it.
That's what that
But
was.
I don't agree with Common Core. I looked at it. I didn't like it.
Okay. So what else are we going to talk about? Do you remember?
Talk about anything.
We talked. Yeah, you were talking about something when you're on the phone. This is why you really want to come on the show.
I don't remember.
Yes.
Oh, margaritas.
No, not margaritas. No.
Picking up my dinner tab at margaritas.
No, it was something else.
Oh, wait, no, I called you right back. I forgot because I said I have bad memory. I said, what time is the show?
And I told you 5, hopefully that you wouldn't show up, but then you came anyway.
Okay.
No.
Well, you should have told him 7.
I should have told him 7. I didn't think of it. But yeah, so you're late. So no, you were saying something about the a dictate from the federal government on the school system.
Yes. Okay, now I remember. And we can tie this into poverty and how kids do. So recently, the Department of Education, they have an Office of Civil Rights. We had a meeting the other night, and what the Manchester School District has agreed. They had an audit, and they said, "Look, there's not enough." Say black because we have African American students, we have African students, students from Africa. So we don't have enough black students. We don't have enough Latino students in our higher level courses, our AP courses.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is look at it and try to get more black and Latino students into the AP courses. And I was kind of annoyed with that.
Why? That doesn't seem. That's racist.
It is.
Yeah, it's
it
quotas.
is.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that upset me, because we had one woman who said, "Well, it's institutional racism that's holding us back." Like the old Public Enemy song, "It takes a nation of millions to keep us down," whatever. Here's the thing, and what I said, and I was kind of annoyed. Look, my wife's Latino. She has, because I work, typically my wife has done the overwhelming majority of contacts with the school system. And I said, "Do you feel like the school system has treated you in a racist manner or in a discriminatory manner?" She's like, "No. If you talk to my wife, she has a thick, heavy accent. She doesn't look like she's from around here. you know as soon as she opens
She
her mouth.
yeah, she looks like she's from like Bedford or something.
Well,
Bedford, yeah.
Yeah,
South
I was
America.
gonna say
she's
Bedford.
from Brazil, but she's got the jet
Bedford,
black
Brazil,
hair, the coal
yeah.
black eyes, and
Yeah.
kind of chiseled features. But and she has a heavy accent. So she's not a Native American.
Not a
American.
Native American.
Yeah, I mean somebody who's
No,
keep
keep
from
going.
America originally. And I said, she's like, I've never been discriminated. In fact, she was telling me the school system has been extremely supportive to me. And not only that, but when you fill out the paperwork for your kids to go to school, they ask you ethnicity.
Yeah.
And obviously, because my wife is from South America, she writes Latino. They know that our kids are of partial Latino descent. They have never treated my kids in a racist or discriminatory manner. In fact, my daughter's going to be in AP classes next year. They're not saying, oh, you're Latino. Why don't you learn how to become a maid or go into janitorial,
Right.
classes? So for them to say that we're not.
Did you see that cotton-picking woman who was running for, I think it was Congress or the Senate in Florida? Democrat? If it was a Republican, it would have been front page news across the planet. But it was something about she wanted more lenient rules as far as illegal immigration, because who else is going to water the flowers? And it's like, wow, it was amazing. And she was running. I forget what seat she ran for down in Florida. But
Did
it
she
was. I don't think she won.
Okay.
But still, the fact that she even would say something like is stupid enough to say something like that.
People on the left get away with murder. Hence Ted Kennedy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I don't think we do a good job as far as explaining to students that how to get into AP courses, what's available. But it's not like we're systematically singling out Black or Latino students. We're just it's a lot of it, unfortunately, is you're finding out on your own, and if you don't,
Right.
if you're not ambitious and you're not putting the legwork in, you don't find out. But my daughter, who's part Latino, is going to be in an A&P course.
Which part?
Probably more to the left, but
Right.
No, left.
Left.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not discriminating against students of color. But here's the other thing that I found troubling is.
So what are they?
So the Department of Education Office of Civil Rights only singled out Black and Latino students. They didn't single out Asian students. And so when I asked the superintendent, I said, well, why aren't? She said, oh, maybe it's just an oversight. I think what we're going to find, because what I've seen in California is Asian students are actually overrepresented. So let's say they're
why?
5% of the student body. There might be 15% of those people
Right.
in upper level classes.
Hey.
Well, because they come from two-parent families, and they
Yes.
Yeah.
and they
Exactly.
in Asian culture, not to
Work
make it,
ethic is very important.
well, the work, and
Discipline.
it's important to go to
Ambition.
school, and it's
Yep.
important to, so when I was at the Mass College of Pharmacy, we had a ton of Asian students.
Oh, yeah.
Lots
And that's
of
why they
Vietnamese
should
and
have shut
Chinese.
that down, because it's just discriminatory. They shouldn't.
Well,
have
yeah.
let-
Why are you just focusing it? So we're not discriminating against racial minorities, because Asians and
Yeah, the other thing too is I've known a lot of people who have Chinese descent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're discriminated against in the workforce. Okay,
okay.
they are. I mean, people are human and they want to identify with people who look like them and stuff like that. So there is discrimination against, as much discrimination against Asians as there is against blacks or Latinos. It's just that they 75% of the Asians in the United States are from intact homes. That's it.
What about the other 25%?
I don't know. They have Obama phones. So, but if you look at like in Washington D.C., only 25% of those kids are in intact homes, and that's where the issue is. It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with color. I mean, there's racism everywhere, and
Well,
it's always will be the case, whatever. But this affirmative action on the school level, I would think you should appeal that to the courts.
Well, here's the other thing that it takes time and it takes money, and the school has so much.
You got money?
So many issues. Yeah, I've got like $10 in my pocket, but
How are you going to treat me to margaritas with $10?
We're putting it on your expense account.
I don't have
But
any.
here's the other thing that bothered me is because I'm on the school board, I educate myself on a lot of
I
school
don't
issues,
think we
not
can
just
even
in
afford a
Manchester,
soda for
but
that.
around the I got a funny
sodas.
story about soda in a second. But
We got 2
around the
seconds.
country,
Yeah, we're almost out of time,
5
by the
minutes.
way.
Holy cow! So
Well, not even really.
I think the current administration, which will remain nameless, I'm really concerned about their priorities. What I've been reading about is in many inner cities, Asian students are being physically assaulted by African American students. What is this administration doing about that? I mean,
Nothing.
And it's widespread. It's not just one place. We're
Really?
talking like Philadelphia, New York, Chicago. Asian students being beaten up, harassed, bullied, assaulted on a widespread basis by young minority students, Asian, are being assaulted by young minority students, African American. What is this administration doing about it? Instead, they're coming to Manchester to say, oh, there's not enough Black and Latino students in AP courses, but what are they doing about like physical violence? Probably
Right.
nothing. So I'm in front of my work a few weeks ago.
We had like 2 seconds. We got to go.
We got 5 minutes.
No, they're
No.
supposed to leave, and at 5 minutes up, we're supposed to bail out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it a 2-second story?
no,
No.
it's a long story, so I'll tell you after the show's over.
All right.
I'm not sure I'm going to even talk to you after the show.
At over
wait,
beer
wait.
at Margaritas.
All right. Oh, yeah, no. So anyway, Ross, thank you very much for showing up. I do.
Wait, I gotta get a
you're all
plug in.
right.
I gotta
Wait,
get a plug in
wait,
though.
yeah.
Wait, you just said 2 seconds. Big thing. So they're trying to. One of the plans was in redistricting was to close down the Jewett Street School, make South Side a K through 8. I'm opposed to that. Been working with a group of parents that are opposed to that. So hopefully we can fight that and keep them from changing Jewett Street into a pre-K only and making South Side a K
Isn't
through
that like
8.
anti-Semitic if they do that?
No.
So, right?
I agree.
I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm concerned, frankly.
So thank you very much for everybody. And next week we got Senator Clegg's coming on
Okay.
to talk about guns.
All right.
And we'll see you next week.
Wait, you still got 3 minutes.
Bye, everybody.